Hare Krishna, welcome back to my channel. I am Radhika Pyari Devi Dasi, and today again I'm going to share with you a combo meal recipe. Because of other priorities coming up, I haven't been able to give priority to the cooking videos, so please forgive me on that. I will try to post videos more regularly. Thank you so much for your understanding. So let's proceed towards the recipe. So here I have around 2 cups of black Bengal gram. This is also called as roasted chana. You can easily find this. This one actually I found has little bit of salt and little bit of hing to it. So you can find a regular one. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to powder that. Here I have half of a jumbo carrot and 4 green chilies and half bunch of cilantro and 1 green bell pepper. I'm also going to use a stick of celery. So first I'm going to actually powder this chana, and then all of the other ones I'm going to process them in a processor. We just want a finely completely chopped vegetables which can mix easily with this powder. Now this particular powder which I also made had a little bit of salt, so that is why I'm going to add a little less salt. But if you're going to just buy plain roasted chanas, then you can add a little bit more salt. Now I'm going to mix all the veggies. Now in this I'm going to add around 1 teaspoon of Nigella sativa, then I'm going to add around a teaspoon of red chili powder, around a teaspoon of salt, now I'm going to add a little bit of safe pickle. So you can find in the store nice mango pickle which is safe for us to consume. So I have added that around 1 tablespoon. Now this mango pickle also has salt, and what I did was I did not use any of the pulp. I just used the masala part of it, so it will just give a little bit of kick to the entire paratha. So I'm just going to mix everything nicely. This is one of the famous parathas in the north, like Uttar Pradesh, and in villages they do make these kind of parathas. Very healthy. This is called actually sattu atta. You can find so expensive in the stores or online, but you can easily make it at home with the roasted chanas you have. So this mixture I'm going to keep it aside, and I'm going to now make the dough. I have taken around 2.5 cups of wheat flour. Now I'm going to add around a teaspoon of salt to it, then around a tablespoon of oil, and then gradually add warm water and knead into a soft dough. Now this dough should not be too sticky, but at the same time it should not be too tight. After the dough is kneaded, then add a little bit of more oil, and then one more time knead it. Now after kneading this dough completely, cover it with a saran wrap and then keep it aside. Now I'll start preparing the sabji. This is a skillet, and in this I'm going to take around a quarter cup of oil. In this I'm going to add around a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Now I'm going to add around 3 to 4 black peppercorns. Then around half teaspoon of carom seeds. Then a little bit of hing or asafoetida. And then around a cup of chopped cabbage. Stir it a little bit and then add the potatoes. I've taken around 2 medium-sized potatoes, chop them into cube size like this. And then I'm just going to fry it for some time. like around for 5 minutes. Going to add a little bit of salt. This is like around 1 teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to add the green bell pepper. This is like around 1 medium sized green bell pepper, which I sliced in long size, and then a half size of the yellow bell pepper. Now I'm going to reduce the stove and cover the skillet and let the potatoes cook for around 5 to 7 minutes so that it becomes soft. While the potatoes are cooking, I'm going to start the preparation of the spice. This is around a teaspoon of dry fenugreek leaves, then around 1.5 teaspoon of turmeric powder, then around a teaspoon of cumin seed powder, 1.5 teaspoon of coriander powder, and 1 teaspoon of amchur powder, which is also called as dry mango powder. Then I'm going to use around 1.5 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder. You can even use paprika because that is not spicy, but Kashmiri red chili powder is a little bit spicy. Now I'm using around half cup of sour cream. I have the recipe of sour cream on my channel, so you may check it. But if you don't want to use the sour cream, then you can even use yogurt. Now yogurt, it has some water content, so you will not need to add that additional water drops which I am adding because sour cream is already so thick. So the water I have used is around 2 to 3 tablespoons and just made into a nice smooth paste. Now in a separate skillet, I am going to heat it first, and then I am going to add around a tablespoon of ghee. Let it melt. Now add that mixture which we made and cook it on medium heat. Now if you will be using yogurt instead of the sour cream, then you'll have to continuously stir it, otherwise the yogurt will get separated from the mixture. Sour cream doesn't have that same thing because it's made from cream fermentation, but yogurt is from milk, so what happens is that it won't be in this manner, so you have to stir it continuously. So once this mixture is cooked for 5 to 7 minutes on medium heat, then I'm going to add it to this potato mixture. If you see the potatoes, they are also soft. I'm just going to mix it quickly. And I'm going to add some water. I have actually added around 2 cups of water to this. Now the sour cream which I made, I had already added a little bit salt to it, and that's why I just used around 1 teaspoon of salt. But the kind of quantity of potatoes I used, you will need a little bit more salt in your mixture if the yogurt doesn't have any salt. So now I am sprinkling around a teaspoon of garam masala powder, mixing it nicely. Now in the end, while it is simmering, I'm going to add around half cup of chopped cilantro. Mix it well. Now you may turn off the stove and cover it. Now the next thing we are going to prepare is the coconut rice. Here I am taking around 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and in that I will be adding around 2 bay leaves. Then I'll be adding around a teaspoon and a half of cumin seeds and saute it for few seconds. Then I'm going to add around a cup of washed basmati rice and then cook it for 2 to 3 minutes on low heat. Then after this I'm going to add around 1 cup of coconut milk and then around another cup of water. So gradually I added water and then I added some green peas to it, which was around 1 cup, and then also I added salt as per taste, or you can use around 1.5 teaspoon of it. Just mix it well. So this coconut rice recipe is very cooling, very calming for the stomach. Anything spicy or anything hot you're eating or in the summers, this recipe is must try. So once this coconut rice water and the milk starts boiling, then I'm going to reduce the heat to complete low and cover it and let it cook. Now that rice is cooking for around 7 minutes, and here I'm making the simple salad, just chopping the tomatoes. I have taken around like 2 tomatoes and I'll be just chopping those, and then I'm going to grate one full beetroot. Now I have peeled this just at the sides. I just chopped those and then I started grating them. Sometimes I do boil the beetroots when I want to eat them in chunk forms, but when you're eating it raw, you can actually grate in this size. After grating this beetroot, I am going to add the tomatoes to it, and then I'm going to add just little bit of salt. Don't add too much salt, just little bit of salt, like you can say around like half teaspoon of it, and Himalayan rock salt is better. And then I added around a half teaspoon of white pepper powder and then mixed it. So I like the salad little bit chilled, so I just wrap it with a saran wrap and then I put it in the fridge for few minutes so that it is nice and chilled before serving. So here the rice is ready. So this is how perfect and creamy the coconut rice turned out. You can just turn off the stove and let it sit for around 5 minutes more. Now here the dough is ready. Knead it one more time nicely for around 2 minutes and then make cylindrical shape, long shape like this. This kind of cylindrical shape is always good to give even cut sizes of the dough. That's what I usually do. And because we are making a paratha, a stuffed paratha, the dough we take is little thicker than the regular chapati size. Now I'll show you all the different ways in which you can actually stuff the filling into this paratha dough. So I'm going to take a handful of the filling and just roll it in round form like this. You can even wet your palms a little bit. Now you start pressing the dough in this manner at the edges like the circumference side, and then press the filling in between and then close it in this manner. I'll show you more of the filling similar way. This actually what it does is that the dough quality matters actually. Once you put the filling inside like this, then you have to close it and the dough should nicely close without it opening. Now this is one of the other methods. If you do not know how to press at the sides, then you can just roll it with a rolling pin and then press in similar manner. This is more easier actually. And then close it like this. It should easily close it and then become smooth like that. I'm going to show you one more method of stuffing it and closing the dough. Just press it and then see. This is one of the best method. I really love actually rolling and filling the stuffing in this manner. You fill it like this. You can fill as much, and then between your thumb and finger, that space, you can just press it and roll it. You just have to do it in similar manner. It's very easy. If you want one video where I can show you how to do the stuffing and fill the stuffing without letting the filling pop out of the dough, then let me know. Then I'll make a separate video just to show you how to stuff the filling inside a dough. So like this, I'm going to make all the dough fillings. It is actually easy and more time saving because once you start fill everything, then it's just rolling into a chapati form and then cooking it. Now I'm going to take one of the filled dough, dust with little bit of wheat flour and start rolling the dough. So see how smooth the dough is. That's why the resting time is important. I have put the skillet on heat. It's on medium heat. And now I'm going to place the paratha on top. The heat should be on medium, not too high. Cook this for a few seconds and now start rolling the dough again. By the time one paratha is cooking on the pan, you can start rolling the other one. Now check up on the paratha which is on the pan. It has to happen only for around 30 seconds and then drizzle some oil on top and then cook the other side. Drizzle again some oil. You can even use ghee and then cook again for some time. Just for 30 seconds it is enough. You can even reduce the heat a little bit to low if you do not want it to be overcooked. Because I have an electric stove, that's why I keep it on medium. Make sure both the sides are cooked properly. So now this is ready. Let's put the other one. One of the most important things you have to remember that after filling the dough with the stuffing, then you put it in a bowl where it is covered with a cloth or a wet cloth so that the dough doesn't get dry. Then while rolling the chapatis, then it's going to cause crack, which you do not want. So just remember that point, to always cover your dough with a cloth or with a lid. Each paratha took around 2 to 3 minutes. So one side I cooked for several seconds, then the other side I cooked, then I drizzled on top the oil, then I again cooked the other side. So like this, what happens is that your parathas will also be cooked nicely and at the same time they will not get too hard. Keeping the one side of the base of the paratha for too long on the pan, that can harden the parathas. So to keep it soft, you should always flip after several seconds. So here the parathas are ready. I'm going to add the coconut rice. The parathas are on the spicy side. The sabji also has little spice and intense flavor. So the coconut milk rice is the best option to accompany it along with the chill salad. So do try this combo recipe and let me know how the recipe turns out. If you have any queries, you can ask me in the comment box and I will be happy to solve that. So after placing this entire meal on the table, I'm going to place tulsi leaves and I'm going to offer them at the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. So I hope you liked watching this video. Let's check on this paratha, how nicely filled it is. See? That's the beauty of this stuffed paratha. Do try it and let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Hare Krishna.